The Lamp of Selfless Wishes. Chapter 1. Clara's Ordinary Life. Clara Winters had always been the kind of person who blended into the background. At 32, she lived a quiet life in the small town of Millbrook, population 5,000. Her days were filled with routine, waking up at 6 a.m., feeding her cat Whiskers, and heading to her job as a librarian at the Millbrook Public Library. The library was a second home to Clara. She loved the smell of old books, the hushed whispers of patrons, and the satisfaction of helping someone find exactly what they were looking for. Her colleagues often joked that Clara knew the Dewey Decimal System better than she knew herself. On this particular Wednesday, Clara was shelving books in the fiction section when she overheard a conversation between two regular patrons. "Did you hear about old Mr. Finch's shop?" Mrs. Peterson whispered to her friend. "No, what about it?" her companion replied. "They're closing it down. Apparently, his grandson is selling off everything. Such a shame, that place has been around for decades." Clara's ears perked up. Mr. Finch's Curiosity Shop had been a Millbrook institution for as long as she could remember. As a child, she'd spent hours browsing its dusty shelves, marveling at the odd trinkets and mysterious artifacts. The thought of it closing tugged at her heartstrings. After her shift, Clara decided to visit the shop one last time. The bell above the door jingled as she entered, and the familiar scent of sandalwood and old paper enveloped her. "Clara, my dear." Mr. Finch's grandson, Timothy, greeted her warmly. "Come to say goodbye to the old place?" Clara nodded, her eyes already roaming the shelves. "I couldn't let it go without one last look. Do you mind if I browse?" "Not at all. In fact, why don't you take something as a memento?" On the house. Touched by the gesture, Clara began to explore. She ran her fingers along shelves of old books, examined intricate music boxes, and admired delicate porcelain figurines. But it was a tarnished brass lamp that caught her eye. It was tucked away in a corner, almost hidden behind a stack of vintage magazines. The lamp was about the size of a teapot, with an elongated spout and an ornate handle. Its surface was covered in intricate engravings that seemed to shift and change as she looked at them. Clara felt drawn to it, as if it were calling out to her. "Ah, the old lamp," Timothy said, noticing her interest. "That's been here longer than I have. Grandpa always said it was special, but he never told me why." "Why don't you take it?" Clara hesitated. "Are you sure? It looks valuable." Timothy waved his hand dismissively. "Consider it a thank you for all the years you've supported the shop. Besides, I have a feeling it belongs with you." As Clara left the shop, lamp in hand, she couldn't shake the feeling that her life was about to change. Chapter 2. The Genie's Emergence. That evening, Clara sat in her small apartment, examining the lamp. She'd cleaned it thoroughly, revealing a warm, golden sheen beneath the tarnish. The engravings were even more intricate than she'd first thought, depicting scenes of grand palaces, exotic animals, and what looked like magical beings. "What do you think, Whiskers?" she asked her cat, who was eyeing the lamp suspiciously. "Should I give it a rub, like in the stories?" Whiskers meowed noncommittally and went back to grooming himself. Clara chuckled. "You're right, that would be silly. Genies don't exist in real life." Despite her words, Clara found herself gently rubbing the side of the lamp. To her astonishment, it began to grow warm beneath her fingers. A faint glow emanated from within, growing brighter by the second. Startled, Clara dropped the lamp onto her coffee table. Whiskers yowled and darted under the couch as a plume of iridescent smoke poured from the lamp's spout. The smoke swirled and coalesced, taking on a humanoid shape. When it cleared, a being stood before Clara. He was tall and imposing, with skin the color of burnished copper and eyes that sparkled like diamonds. He wore flowing robes of midnight blue, embroidered with silver stars that seemed to twinkle and move. "Greetings, O possessor of the lamp," the being intoned, his voice deep and resonant. "I am Zephyr, genie of the selfless wish. How may I serve you?" Clara gaped at the genie, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. This can't be real, she stammered. Zephyr raised an eyebrow. I assure you, I am quite real. Though I must admit, it has been some time since I was last summoned. The world seems to have changed considerably. Clara pinched herself, wincing at the sharp pain. Not a dream, then. So, you're a genie? Like, wish-granting and all that? Indeed, Zephyr nodded. Though I am not like the genies of your fairy tales. I offer but a single wish, and it comes with a condition. What kind of condition? Clara asked, her librarian's curiosity overcoming her shock. Zephyr's expression grew serious. The wish you make cannot be for yourself. It must be for the benefit of another. This is the nature of the selfless wish. Clara's mind reeled. A real wish, but not for herself. The possibilities were overwhelming. Can I have some time to think about it? Of course, Zephyr replied. The decision should not be made lightly. I will return to the lamp for now. When you have made your choice, simply rub the lamp again, and I shall appear. With that, Zephyr dissolved back into smoke and was drawn into the lamp. Clara stared at the now ordinary-looking object, her world forever changed. Chapter 3. The Dilemma of Choice. For the next few days, Clara went about her life in a daze. She performed her duties at the library mechanically, her mind constantly churning with the possibilities of the wish. Who should she choose? What should she wish for? Her first thought was her parents. Her father had been battling Parkinson's disease for years, and her mother was worn down from caring for him. A wish for her father's health seemed like an obvious choice. But then she thought of all the other people suffering from the same disease. Would it be fair to cure just one person? Then there were her colleagues at the library. Mrs. Abernathy, the head librarian, had been talking about budget cuts. Maybe she could wish for the library to receive a large endowment, ensuring its future for years to come. But was that too impersonal? As she pondered these questions, Clara found herself paying more attention to the people around her. She noticed the worry lines on the face of the young mother who came in every week for children's story time. She overheard the high school students discussing their fears about college applications and student loans. Even the town itself seemed to be struggling, with more empty storefronts appearing on Main Street. One person, however, kept coming to the forefront of her mind, her best friend, Chen. Lily and Clara had been friends since college. While Clara had settled into a quiet life in Millbrook, Lily had always dreamed big. She'd moved to the city to pursue a career in journalism, determined to make a difference in the world. But life hadn't been kind to Lily. 3 years ago, Lily had been diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disorder. The medical bills had drained her savings, forcing her to give up her apartment in the city and move back to Millbrook. She now lived with her parents, working part-time at the local diner when her health allowed. Despite her struggles, Lily remained one of the most positive people Clara knew. She never complained about her situation, always finding something to be grateful for. But Clara could see the toll it was taking on her friend. The spark in Lily's eyes was dimming, and her once boundless energy was waning. As Clara locked up the library on Friday evening, she made her decision. She would use the wish for Lily. Her friend deserved a chance to pursue her dreams, free from the burden of illness and financial worry. With a sense of purpose, Clara hurried home. As soon as she entered her apartment, she grabbed the lamp and rubbed it vigorously. Once again, smoke poured forth and Zephyr materialized before her. Have you made your decision, O possessor of the lamp? The genie asked. Clara nodded, her heart pounding with excitement and a touch of nervousness. I have. I want to use the wish for my friend, Chen. Zephyr inclined his head. And what is it you wish for Chen? Clara took a deep breath. I wish for Lily to have perfect health and an abundance of wealth. I want her to be free from her illness and financial worry so she can pursue her dreams. As soon as the words left her mouth, Clara felt a strange sensation, as if a great weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Zephyr's eyes glowed brightly, and a shimmering wave of energy seemed to pulse outward from him. It is done, Zephyr announced. Your friend, Lily Chen, will awaken tomorrow in perfect health, and she will soon find herself in possession of great wealth. Clara's eyes filled with tears of joy. Thank you, Zephyr. You have no idea what this means to me, to Lily. Zephyr's expression was unreadable. Remember, O possessor of the lamp, that all wishes have consequences, even those made with the purest of intentions. The future is now in motion, shaped by your choice. Before Clara could ask what he meant, Zephyr disappeared back into the lamp. Clara was left alone, filled with anticipation for what the morning would bring. Chapter 4: The Immediate Aftermath. Clara barely slept that night, her mind racing with thoughts of how Lily's life was about to change. As soon as the sun rose, she called her friend, unable to contain her excitement. Hello? Lily's voice was groggy with sleep. Lily, it's Clara. How are you feeling? There was a pause, then a gasp of surprise. I feel amazing. Clara, you won't believe this. I woke up and all my pain was gone. I mean, completely gone. I haven't felt this good in years. Clara's heart soared. That's wonderful, Lily. I'm so happy for you. I don't understand it, Lily continued, her voice filled with wonder. It's like a miracle. Oh! Hold on, I'm getting another call. It's my parents' lawyer. I'll call you back. Clara hung up, feeling a mix of joy and relief. The wish was working. She went about her morning routine with a spring in her step, eagerly awaiting Lily's call back. It came just as Clara was leaving for work. Clara. Lily's voice was breathless with excitement. You're never going to believe what happened. Do you remember my great-aunt Mildred? The one who lived in that big house in Vermont? Clara vaguely recalled Lily mentioning her once or twice. Yes. Well, apparently she passed away last month. And she left everything to me. Clara, when I say everything, I mean everything. The house, her investments, her art collection. The lawyer says it's worth millions. Clara felt a wave of dizziness wash over her. Millions? She hadn't expected the wealth part of the wish to be quite so abundant. That's incredible, Lily, she managed to say. How do you feel? I feel like I'm dreaming, Lily laughed. First I wake up feeling better than I have in years, and now this? It's unbelievable. Listen, I've got to go. There's so much to sort out. But let's have dinner tonight, okay? My treat. As Clara made her way to work, she couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The wish had worked, perhaps too well. She tried to shake off the feeling, reminding herself that this was what she had wanted for Lily. Her friend deserved this stroke of good fortune. The day passed in a blur. Clara found it hard to concentrate on her work, her mind constantly drifting to thoughts of Lily and the incredible changes happening in her life. When evening came, she met Lily at Millbrook's fanciest restaurant, a place they usually reserved for special occasions. Lily looked radiant. Her skin glowed with health, and her eyes sparkled with an energy Clara hadn't seen in years. She was dressed in a new outfit that Clara suspected cost more than her monthly rent. Clara. Lily embraced her tightly. I still can't believe all of this. It feels like a dream. As they settled into their seats, Lily couldn't stop talking about her plans. I'm going to donate to the hospital that treated me. And I'm thinking of starting a foundation to help others with autoimmune disorders. Oh, and I've already called my old editor in the city. I'm going to freelance for them while I work on the book I've always wanted to write. Clara listened, a smile fixed on her face. She was happy for Lily, truly she was. But there was something in her friend's rapid-fire speech and constant fidgeting that gave her pause. Lily, she said gently, this is all wonderful, but don't you think you should take some time to process everything? It's a lot of change all at once. Lily waved her hand dismissively. There's no time to waste, Clara. Do you know how long I've been waiting for an opportunity like this? I have so much to do, so much to experience. I feel like I've been given a second chance at life, and I'm not going to waste a single moment of it. As the evening wore on, Clara's unease grew. Lily ordered the most expensive items on the menu, even though she barely touched her food. She talked about buying a penthouse in the city, about traveling the world, about all the risks she wanted to take now that her health wasn't holding her back. When they parted ways, Lily hugged Clara tightly. "Thank you for always being there for me," she said. "I don't know what I'd do without you." Clara watched her friend drive away in a taxi, heading for the city to start living. As she walked home, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. She had wished for Lily to be healthy and wealthy, but she was beginning to realize that she hadn't considered what those sudden changes might do to her friend's state of mind. That night, as Clara lay in bed, Zephyr's words echoed in her mind. All wishes have consequences, even those made with the purest of intentions. She fell into an uneasy sleep, wondering what those consequences might be. Chapter 5: The Spiral Begins. Over the next few weeks, Clara watched with growing concern as Lily's life transformed at a dizzying pace. Her friend had always been ambitious, but now she seemed to be operating at a frenetic, almost manic level. Lily quit her job at the diner without notice, much to the dismay of her coworkers who had supported her through her illness. She moved out of her parents' house and into a luxury apartment in the city, barely taking the time to say goodbye. Her social media accounts, once filled with thoughtful posts about her health journey, now showcased a whirlwind of parties, expensive purchases, and risky adventures. Clara tried to keep in touch, but Lily was always too busy, always on the move. Their phone conversations became shorter and less frequent. When they did talk, Lily's speech was rapid and disjointed, jumping from one grand plan to another. "I'm learning to skydive," Lily announced during one call. "Can you believe it? Me, the girl who used to be afraid of heights. Isn't that a bit dangerous?" Clara asked, unable to keep the worry from her voice. Lily laughed, a high, almost manic sound. "Dangerous? Clara, I've spent the last 3 years of my life in danger of dying from my own immune system. This is living." The call ended abruptly when Lily had to rush off to a can't-miss party. Clara was left staring at her phone, a knot of anxiety forming in her stomach. As summer turned to fall, reports of Lily's exploits began to circulate through Millbrook's gossip grapevine. Mrs. Peterson and her friends would often discuss Lily's latest antics in hushed tones as they browsed the library. "Did you hear about Lily, Chen?" Mrs. Peterson whispered to her friend. "I heard she bought a sports car and crashed it within a week." "Yes, and apparently she's been seen with some rather unsavory characters," her friend replied. "It's such a shame. She was such a nice girl." Clara tried to ignore the gossip, but it was hard not to worry. She decided to visit Lily in the city, hoping to talk some sense into her friend. Chapter 6: Confrontation. Clara took the train to the city and arrived at Lily's new apartment building, a sleek high-rise with a doorman and a lobby that smelled of fresh flowers. She felt out of place as she waited for the elevator, her simple clothes contrasting sharply with the designer outfits of the other residents. When she reached Lily's apartment, she knocked on the door, her heart pounding. After a moment, the door swung open, revealing a disheveled Lily. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Clara!" Lily exclaimed, her voice a mix of surprise and excitement. "What are you doing here?" "I came to see you," Clara said, stepping inside. The apartment was a mess, with clothes and empty bottles strewn everywhere. "Lily, we need to talk." Lily waved her hand dismissively. Sure. But first, let me show you something." She led Clara to the living room, where a group of people were lounging on the couches, drinking and laughing. "Everyone, this is my best friend, Clara." Clara felt a pang of sadness as she looked at the strangers in Lily's apartment. They seemed more interested in Lily's money than in her well-being. "Lily, can we talk in private?" Lily hesitated, but then nodded. She led Clara to her bedroom, closing the door behind them. "What's up?" Clara took a deep breath. "Lily, I'm worried about you. You're living so recklessly. Crashing cars, partying all the time. This isn't you." Lily's expression hardened. You don't understand, Clara. I finally have the freedom to do what I want. For the first time in years, I'm not held back by my illness or money problems. I'm living my life to the fullest. But at what cost? Clara asked, her voice trembling. You're pushing yourself too hard. You're putting yourself in danger. Lily's eyes flashed with anger. You don't get it, Clara. You have no idea what it's like to be trapped in your own body, to be constantly afraid of the future. I need this. I need to feel alive. Clara felt tears welling up in her eyes. I just don't want to see you get hurt. Lily's expression softened, and she hugged Clara tightly. I know you're worried about me, but I promise I'm fine. I just need to find my own way. Clara left the apartment feeling more worried than ever. She couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to happen. Chapter 7. The Turning Point. As the months passed, Lily's behavior became increasingly erratic. She took up extreme sports, often posting videos of her dangerous stunts online. Her social media following grew, but so did the number of concerned messages from friends and family. One evening, Clara received a frantic call from Lily's mother. Clara, have you heard from Lily? She hasn't answered her phone in days, and I'm worried sick. Clara's heart sank. She hadn't heard from Lily either. She decided to go back to the city and check on her friend. When she arrived at Lily's apartment, the doorman informed her that Lily hadn't been seen in days. Clara's worry turned to panic as she rushed to Lily's door and knocked loudly. There was no answer. Desperate, Clara called the police. They arrived quickly and managed to unlock the door. Inside, they found Lily unconscious on the floor, surrounded by empty pill bottles. Clara's world shattered as she watched the paramedics carry Lily away on a stretcher. She felt a crushing guilt, knowing that her wish had led to this. Chapter 8. The Road to Recovery. Lily survived the overdose, but she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital for treatment. Clara visited her every day, determined to be there for her friend. Lily was a shadow of her former self, her once vibrant spirit dulled by the weight of her experiences. She underwent therapy and slowly began to open up about her struggles. I thought the money and the health would make everything better, Lily admitted one day, tears streaming down her face. But it just made me feel more lost. I didn't know who I was anymore. Clara held her friend's hand, her own eyes filled with tears. I'm so sorry, Lily. I thought I was helping you, but I didn't think about the consequences. Lily shook her head. It's not your fault, Clara. I made my own choices. But I need to find a way to move forward, to figure out who I am without all the chaos. Chapter 9. A New Beginning. Lily's recovery was slow but steady. She moved back to Millbrook and started volunteering at the local community center, using her wealth to support various charitable causes. She found solace in helping others and began to rebuild her life with a newfound sense of purpose. Clara and Lily's friendship grew stronger as they navigated the challenges together. Clara learned to forgive herself, understanding that her wish had come from a place of love, even if it had unintended consequences. One evening, as they sat on Clara's porch, watching the sunset, Lily turned to her friend. You know, Clara, I think I've finally found what I've been looking for. It's not about the money or the health. It's about finding balance and meaning in life. Clara smiled, feeling a sense of peace. I'm glad, Lily. You've come so far, and I'm proud of you. Lily squeezed Clara's hand. And I'm grateful for you. Your wish may have had its challenges, but it also gave me the chance to find myself again. Chapter 10. The Final Wish. One day, as Clara was cleaning her apartment, she came across the lamp that had started it all. She hesitated for a moment, then rubbed it gently. Zephyr appeared, his expression unreadable. Have you come to make another wish, O possessor of the lamp? He asked. Clara shook her head. No, Zephyr. I just wanted to thank you. Your wish taught me a valuable lesson about the complexities of life and the importance of thinking beyond immediate desires. Zephyr nodded. You have learned well, Clara. Remember, true happiness often lies not in what we wish for, but in the connections we nurture and the love we share with others. With that, Zephyr disappeared back into the lamp, leaving Clara with a sense of closure. Epilogue: a life rebalanced. Clara and Lily continued to support each other, their friendship a testament to the power of resilience and love. They both found fulfillment in their own ways, understanding that true happiness came from within and from the bonds they shared with those around them. The lamp remained a reminder of the wish that had changed their lives, a symbol of the lessons they had learned. And as they moved forward, they did so with a deeper appreciation for the complexities of life and the importance of selflessness, balance, and genuine connection.
Subscribe for more.